Whether it makes you laugh, cry, scream, or fly, there's a song for every emotion. We're Mike and Priya, and we talk about the songs that make up the soundtrack to your life. Because life is in the lyrics.
Hello, little listeners, and welcome back to our little podcast where Mike and I use lyrics and music to discuss the ups and downs, the highs, the lows, the ins and outs. Oh, yeah, we'll be talking a bit about that today, of what it's like to be human. God damn all those human emotions, you know, Mike?
That's right. That's right, Priya. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
We jibber jabber. And we use music to help support that jibber jabber.
It's just a vehicle for our full speed, 100 clicks an hour, maybe even fuller than that.
Sometimes.
Nonsense.
Yes, it is true.
Yeah.
And it's funny, though, that you said nonsense. Because we do start the podcast off each week with a lot of nonsense.
Otherwise known as our lives.
Our lives, that's
right?
True. And we've actually talked about maybe having another podcast.
That's right. But you know what? We don't need to because we're incorporating the two into one.
That's right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for...
Banter and Bullshit.
That's right. And why is it called Banter and Bullshit, Mike?
It's called Banter and Bullshit, Priya, because what we do is we believe in full transparency.
That's right.
Or the full enough transparency that gets recorded, but then might get edited a little bit.
That's truth. It's all truth in advertising here, except for what we decide to cut out.
That's exactly true, yeah.
Okay, so Mike, what's going on in your life?
Well, Priya, as you know...
This sounds so rehearsed. Well, Priya.
Well, Priya, let me tell you. I'm just going to get into it right now.
Have you been getting into it a little too much on yourself?
No.
What's happening with your wrist there?
But that's part of what I wanted to talk to you about.
I think
so, little listeners, you can't see this, but I have a brace on my wrist, on my left wrist.
I didn't know you were left-handed.
First of all, I'm right-handed.
I don't know about that. Okay.
And the reason why I have a brace on this is because a week ago, and at the time of recording, it was a week ago, but when this comes out, it'll be a few weeks ago, I was in a 5K run.
Yes,
Remember
you
that?
were.
Remember that link?
For the Pride,
yeah. And I want to first off say thank you to everybody who donated because I exceeded my fundraising goal.
Which was?
My fundraising goal was $5,700 because I was turning 57 years old. And I raised more than $6,000. Or I should say, thank you. We raised more than $6,000. So thank you all for contributing. I really appreciate it. And Priya, you were definitely one of them.
Always.
So yeah, 57 years old. And so I hadn't done a ton of training, but I thought I could do 5K. I mean, this was my 7th time doing the run.
Yeah.
So I figured I can do this. And Jason, loyal listener, Jason and I did this run. It was all exciting. There's a couple of videos that I took of us at the starting line, and we can maybe post those on the Insta as well. Super excited. It was Jason's first time. Lots of enthusiasm. We get out there. It's a sunny, gorgeous Saturday morning.
Was it super, super hot?
It got super, super hot, but it was beautiful that morning. Good. The run is 5K, and you do 2 loops of Queen's Park Circle for those that live in Toronto. And on the second loop, Jason and I, we've got a good pace going. Second loop, I trip over some buckled asphalt, and I go face planting into the pavement. And it was super embarrassing because it was also right where a water station was, where there was probably about 30 volunteers handing out cups of water, and all of the runners that were in that at our pace, going to grab their water. Super face plant, and it was a whole... and I bounced back up.
Oh, good.
Because
good for you.
My pride...
Yeah.
And
your pride during Pride.
My pride during Pride. I was like, no, I'm fine. I got up, grabbed my water, had a sip, kept running, ran about maybe 15, 20 paces. And I turned to Jason. I said, I can't do this. And being the big man baby that I am, it's because I looked down at my hand and my hand was bleeding.
Okay. Well, that's a reason.
Good reason. As soon as I saw the blood, that was it. I was like, I'm hurt. So the adrenaline, I think, drained out of me. I said to Jason, I need to stop. And he was like, okay, I'll walk with you. And I'm like, no, you run. It's your first run. You go. He didn't want to, but I was like, go. So he went on. I walked. I have no idea how long I walked. But then I thought, you know what? People have donated. I've said I'm going to do this run. So I started running again.
Good for you.
And I made it to the finish line. And I still made it with my goal. My running goal was to finish under 30 minutes.
Okay.
And I finished at 29 minutes and 14 seconds.
Good for you. That is impressive.
Yeah, that's even
with a bleeding hand.
With a bleeding hand. And what I hadn't realized, that also I had skinned all of my left elbow.
I didn't even see that. Yikes.
And my knee was also skinned. And by the time I got to the finish line, Jason had already been there. He finished at 28:13.
Oh, wow.
So a minute and 1 second before me. So I lost a minute.
Yeah.
That whole
This is very
debacle.
Impressive, Mike.
Yeah.
You actually had some skin in the game.
I literally had skin in the game.
on the road.
Yeah. So now I've had ultrasound. I went for ultrasound and I went for x-ray.
Right.
And I'm waiting for those results.
Okay.
Because
Ooh.
it's not pretty.
That is not pretty.
And it's painful.
But you know what? It's a rainbow of colors.
It is a rainbow of colors.
So it's very
gay.
Gay.
So, yeah, that's why I'm wearing a brace.
Okay. It's not for the fun reason I thought you might be wearing a brace.
No.
Overuse is what I was thinking.
No comment. Okay. Hi, Mom.
Hi, bye. Okay.
So that's me in a nutshell. Actually, in a wrist brace. That's me in a wrist brace.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, good for you. Impressed that you still made your time.
Yeah.
Even after your little hissy sissy fit.
Yeah. I am a man baby. I fully confess. I totally am.
I think the fact that you got up and kept running is would prove otherwise.
Well, thank you. And what I find funny is that it was my bleeding right hand. It was basically, I don't know how I fell. Obviously, I hit my elbows and my face, like whatever. And my thumb was bleeding. And when I looked down, I was like, oh my God, I'm bleeding. And I was basically on adrenaline, I think, at that point. And then it just drained out of me. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't realized that my elbow was bleeding.
Right.
I hadn't realized that my knee was straight.
Right.
And I certainly did not feel anything in my wrist. It wasn't until I went to the medical tent that I took my watch off and I'm like, there's something wrong with my wrist. And so then they got ice and everything and blah, blah, blah. And so I thought, I'll let it sit for a few days.
Yeah.
But then there's obviously something not good. I think I've broken it.
What? You really think it's broken?
I think I have, yeah.
Wouldn't they have noticed that when you went to the doctor, like without an x-ray? Like...
No, because it could be a tendon again. Mm-hmm. Circle back to a few seconds ago where I called myself a man baby.
Okay.
So that's me. How about you?
Mike,
sweet cheeks?
How do I look? How does my hair look?
Your hair looks great.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to say that when you came in. Yeah.
I
meant to tell you, your hair looks really good.
Whatever
it is that's happening, I love it.
Well, I have not touched my bangs, and yet I did get banged.
Oh, hold on.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yep. That's enough of that. Turn that shit off.
Hold on.
Okay. All right.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you get banged, and we're not talking the front fringe of your hair.
No.
But whatever it is that happens in the other banging makes your hair look good in general.
Well, this is the humidity and how I've learned to style my hair in the humidity.
Oh, okay.
I was just referencing the hair because I kept talking previously about how I kept banging myself, and hopefully I'll get banged in another manner. And now that has happened. So I thought I should report back to people listening. Sorry, bye.
I'm sure the little listeners have been on the edge of their
seat, waiting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any questions?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I have several questions. Was the person the scribe?
Yes.
Okay.
It was.
Did the scribe wear a feather?
You know, funny you should bring that up because in the
please
middle
tell me there was an outfit.
No, in the midst of the act, I did ask, will there be ever an occasion where you might put on your costume for this? And he said no.
Oh, no.
I know. I think I can probably
work on that.
Yeah, work on that. But I said, and I'll be the maiden, and we can role play. But he was like, I think he's still maybe like the fact that he put it on for me in the first place, I think is still in his brain.
It also could be that if he does do the deed in an outfit, he will never be able to wear that outfit again. True. For what he purchased it for, not for...
Okay, I don't mean like actually during, but I mean to start off the evening. Could we just like be like, my lord, my lady?
Yeah. Well, okay, well then we'll have to come up with maybe... I mean, if outfits are kind of a little bit of your jam these
they're
days,
not, but...
Well, they are.
Well, only because he put it on and I was like, this needs to be cemented in my brain forever. And I do want to ask him if he'll put it on and let me take a photo and I'll just blur his face out and we can post it.
Or just show it to me.
Or just show it to you, yeah. Okay.
Because posting it, that's a bit
No, but without his face showing, like anonymity reigns supreme here. Full transparency in our own lives, but not...
Would you trust you?
Yes, I would not post his face without...
I know you wouldn't.
However, do you know what? I asked him for whatever reason, because something came up along this topic, and I said, have you Google stalked me? And he said, yeah. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah, of course. Well, I was like, I never do that.
Really?
I never do that.
Priya, come on, seriously?
I just don't. No, I was just surprised. And I was like, well, what did you discover? But apparently there's somebody very famous who has my exact name. And so mostly it was her shit that came up. So I was like... free and clear.
He didn't realize that you are the very famous?
I'm the only famous one.
Yeah.
Based in Toronto.
Well, we did talk about your name in another episode where you said you didn't think you would change your name.
Right.
And I was shocked because there are like millions of Priya Rouse.
There's not millions. Don't exaggerate.
There are a lot of Priya Rouse out there.
I do still think I'm one of the first.
You are an original.
Thank you.
You're an OG.
That's right.
So with the Google stalking, do you know that was a formative part of how Dawn and I connected?
I did not know that.
Yes. So Dawn and I met on a subway trip.
I remember that.
Subway train. And afterwards, I Googled him because that was what we did. So I Googled him to try and get his email address.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, this is 18 years ago.
Yeah.
At the time of recording, we are 5 days away from Dawn and my 18th anniversary from our first date.
Aw.
And when we met on the subway, I had Googled him because I thought, I thought he was really interesting and handsome and, let's go for a date. I'm going to ask him out.
Right.
So that's what I did. I Googled stalked him.
I know. And I know people do that all the time, but I just don't.
I'm going to take the stalking part out because I think that word and Googling...
it has a negative, very dark...
yeah, and I think that's different from...
research.
Extensive research.
Extensive?
Yeah.
You extensively researched him.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with looking somebody up to see what you can learn about them online.
I agree. It's not been something that I've ever done. But let me say something that was really funny as we were engaging in fornication is that I had forgotten I hadn't closed my bedroom door.
Oh.
Okay. And
that's not a euphemism, right?
Oh my God.
I literally, okay.
No, that door was wide open. But I had not closed my bedroom door, and he had met the dogs, and the dogs were like, they're always excited when the dog, he came to Toronto because we were going to go on a ghost tour of the distillery district. But then we were sitting on the couch, we were watching TV, and then, then he was like, I don't think I want to go to the ghost tour. And I was like, are you sure? Like, what do you mean? Like, you got tickets and everything, so we should go. And he's like,
So he stood there with his boner in his hand.
This was before that started. This was as it was beginning. You are a disgusting man.
We're going to cut that out.
No, you keep that in. Don't you dare cut out the things that you say.
No, because that would be really embarrassing for him.
Anyways, so the dogs, they get very excited when company's over. They always put on a show.
Right, yeah.
They wrestle. They do all this stuff. Toby is like, everybody is his new best friend. Yeah. Kaya gives her side eye to everyone, which he immediately noticed, by the way. And then, as I said, I forgot to close the bedroom door. Mm-hmm. And at one point, I had my head at the edge of the bed.
Okay.
And I opened my eyes.
Yeah.
And Toby's face was right there.
Oh my God.
Just quietly looking right in my eyes.
No.
And then he saw him and we just started laughing. And we were like, Toby, go. Oh. It was so funny. And he was just like, he just wanted to like be with us.
Yeah.
It was like, no, Toby, get out. Yeah. I had to go and close the door then. And it was quite funny.
I don't think... I don't like pets in spaces where there's intimate stuff happening.
No, it seems so weird. I know. Does Riva ever want to come in when you guys are doing that?
Not going to comment on that, but I will tell you. Okay. Actually, I will comment.
Okay, thank you.
Dogs not allowed.
Okay.
No.
There's already 2 dogs in that bedroom. We don't need a third one. But
yeah. Yeah. No. Uh-huh. There's no. We don't need observers.
I agree.
Yeah.
No, so that was just a little odd, but quite hilarious.
Wow. Okay. So this relationship has certainly evolved.
Well, I mean,
it's trucking along. And
yeah, it's trucking along.
Nice.
It's very lovely, exactly where it is.
Yeah. Okay.
And I am in no rush for it to do anything.
No. Well, why would you be?
I mean, like. People use the term relationship, whatever. Like, it's just like we are having a really good time together, and we have more fun, I think, than I've ever had with anybody else on dates. Mm-hmm. That's true.
Seems very entertaining.
Very entertaining. One thing that really annoys me, though, about him.
Okay. Already.
From the get-go was that he is just decidedly anti-Taylor for no reason.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't, and as an English major, I question his legitimacy as an English major. If he can just brush her off without listening to her lyrics. If you know her music and you want to diss her, that's one thing, but I feel like he just does it to poke the bear. Me being the bear. Mm-hmm. Poke, poke, poke. Mm-hmm. Poke, poke, poke. Mm-hmm. And then we get into a little...
Banter?
Spat, not a real spat, but then it's like,
foreplay.
I start defending her for whatever reason, as if she needs defending, and I'm like, no, stop that. So,
okay,
yeah,
there's got to be some element of friction that keeps the the
spark
flame. Yeah, keeps the spark.
Sure,
I have witnessed that in relationships.
What is it in yours?
In mine,
yeah,
and Dawn's. What is it?
Yeah.
Do I want to disclose anything on the podcast?
Okay, you don't have to.
No. Yeah, Dawn and I, we are good at keeping the spark. I can tell you that 18 years in. Right? Okay. We're not actually good at it. We're pretty amazing at it.
Oh, wow.
So that's all I will say about that.
Well, he's very romantic, which is very nice.
He's super romantic.
Yeah.
And he's just a great guy. And I'm just really... lucky to have.
He's a good guy. Yes. All right. I don't know what's happening.
I just don't want to. I don't want to go into it. I don't want to share stuff on the podcast without his permission. So.
Okay. Well, I'm sharing all sorts of shit without anybody's permission.
I know, but that's you.
Okay. Anyways. Okay.
So listen. This episode.
Yes.
This is part 2.
It is.
Of what was supposed to be only one episode. But
I don't know how we thought we were going to get through it all in one
It's
episode.
True. I seriously got carried away with my chatter around Noah Kahn last week and did not leave space for us to talk about Kacey Musgraves.
Well, I think that was actually a good call because it's really hard to talk extensively about lyrics from 2 artists in a 45-minute episode when basically we spend the first 20 minutes with
Banter and bullshit.
Yes, it's very hard after that. So I think it's a nice segue too, because Noah Kahan and Kacey have a duet that they did, or kind of a remix, really, of his song, She Calls Me Back. And, you know, I thought it would be interesting to you maybe to hear what he has said about her.
Okay.
Especially when he heard that she was agreeing to do this. So he said, can you imagine someone like Kacey singing this? She's so original and not defined by genre. Golden Hour, for which she won a Grammy Award, many Grammys, was so cool and wide-ranging in the inspirations and sounds she was using. Just hearing her voice, which is so iconic, pure, and beautiful, I was laughing to myself on the airplane like, I can't believe this is my life. Anyway, so I just thought it was a nice tie-in because the two of them are real admirers of one another's work. And I think they share a lot of similarities in their songwriting. Being, as we discussed last time, I think I used the word like 5 times, his writing is very evocative. And so is hers. It's like, I feel that some of the best songwriters come from the country folk sort of genre, because it is so much about just telling stories.
Yeah.
And maybe it's story first, almost, music secondary, whereas in a lot of other pop culture music, pop music or whatever other genre music, it's like the beat and the music first, and then oftentimes lyrics are not even secondary, they're like tertiary or like barely there. Like there are some songs that have just the same 5 lines over and over and over again, right? But I do think that a lot of really amazing writing comes from that folk country singer-songwriter background. So these two share a lot of similarities in that sense. And I'm like equally obsessed with Kacey Musgraves as you are with Noah Kahan right now, partly because I'm going to see her concert here at the end of August.
Right.
And so I really wanted to familiarize myself with more of her catalog. And while I have only just discovered her in like the last year, I discovered her through her duet with Zach Bryan.
Okay.
I Remember Everything.
Yeah.
Have you heard that song?
No.
Beautiful duet, just about remembering all the times with an ex, like remembering every moment of some relationship.
Right.
And their voices are so perfectly paired together. That was the first time I'd heard her music, and then I was like, oh, who's she? And I started listening to some of her stuff, and I didn't realize she had been around since like the early 2011s, 12s and stuff.
Yeah.
And that she was she has 8 Grammy Awards, 17 nominations.
Beat Taylor Swift's Red.
Incredible, huh?
Yeah, for Grammy of the Year or
for
Album
song?
of the Year.
Yes, that was for her album Golden Hour, I believe. And that is an amazing, such a beautiful album. But her songwriting in general is so honest, and a lot of people call her like quite rebellious in her lyrics, which she then said, she talked about that in an interview with the Wall Street Journal. She said, she's talking about criticism she faced for her, quote, rebellious lyrics. I think throwing the rebel card out there is really cheap, she said. The things I'm singing about are not controversial to me. I don't push buttons to push buttons. I talk about things that have made an impression on me that a lot of people everywhere are going through. But I think the reason people find it controversial is because she talks a lot about being very pro-LGBTQ. She talks about smoking weed and doing other hallucinogenics and stuff, mushrooms and stuff. One of her albums, Star-Crossed, she said it took shape after a guided psilocybin mushroom trip. So I had no idea that she uses weed and LSD and mushrooms and stuff to sort of guide her songwriting, which I think is kind of interesting because a lot of her music is really about nature and just the wind in the trees. And she has a song called In the Heart of the Woods. And she just talks about the roots of the trees having conversations that we don't even see and how they spill forth. And she's kind of like witchy in that way. So one of the reasons I think that I am gravitating towards her so much is because, let me draw a parallel to you with my sexual encounters. Okay. Let's just see how this goes. There was a phase in my 30s and maybe early 40s where I sort of had encounters for the sake of having encounters, just for the sake of the temporary or, however long that experience was going to happen, and just for the pure joy and pleasure of it.
Yeah.
And I listen to music in the same way.
Okay.
Nowadays, I feel like for the last 4 or 5, maybe a little longer years, I just you could be so beautiful, have a great body, but if you can't hold a conversation or have nothing going on in your life that is in the least minimal way interesting at all, I just, as my friend Mira says, I lose my erection. I just can't, can't get into it.
Yeah.
And I find that has been the same way with music.
Okay.
I now look for deeper meaning in the music. You hear a song sometimes and the beat is just so great and you just dance to it and it just fills that void for you, or it just fills a space, or it makes you move. But for the most part, I look for deeper meaning in music now too.
Okay.
So I guess that's just as you get older, life takes a different shape in a way and things aren't as frivolous anymore.
So you are currently obsessed with her, and I'm interested in understanding why her and what it is about.
Yeah.
Whatever it is she's singing about, or what her lyrics are that for some reason are connecting with you right now.
Sure. Well, first of all, one of the things is that she is, I know we try not to mention Taylor every time, but you've already brought her up because she won a Grammy and over Red. But she is similar to Taylor in that she is genre-less, kind of. She is a country artist, but then...
is she?
She is, right? You even question that. Why do you question it?
I question it because it's unclear to me in listening to her catalog, which I haven't listened to the entire thing, but I've listened to enough songs to be kind of confused about where she's positioned. I mean, obviously, Nashville and country are a component. From what I've learned about her, she started out in country, the whole yodeling thing. I mean, doesn't get any more country than that, I think.
Right.
And the way she started out songwriting and kind of getting positioned to be a rising country star. And the way the narrative is presented is that she did intentionally, it was her leading her direction away from this confined, stereotypical country genre. But I gotta be honest, I think she's confused me about what genre she is.
Yeah. But why does she need to be just one genre?
I totally agree. That is a really good question. And I think there's 2 things I think about that. And one is trying to figure out a way to relate to the art. And I do this a lot in lots of different ways. I try to, when I meet someone, for some reason, one of my defaults is, who do they remind me of? Because if I can make that connection, then that will help me remember who this person is.
Right.
And for some reason, it's like this thing that happens where if I find someone somewhat interesting, or there's something about them that I gravitate towards, I try and make a connection. It's like an instinctual thing. And so I think with her, I'm trying to figure out, I mean, there's obvious country flavors in there, but it's off. It doesn't fit the genre bucket that I've got in terms of how I define country.
Okay. Now I'm going to trace this back to something that the scribe and I were chatting about.
Okay.
Where he was saying something about, we have this sort of ongoing joke where our banter is 80% sass and then 20% niceties to one another.
Oh, nice.
And I said, well, that's because you've only seen a couple of sides of me. There are multitudes to me, right? And I think that's what I enjoy about her. She has multitudes within her. She is not just a specific type of country artist. So her different albums, like Star-Crossed, was very sort of it had a lot of disco and synth. She has different kinds of musical elements to her music. She grew up, she says, listening to a lot of música mexicana. So she has a lot of that sort of Mexican musical influences in a lot of her music as well. She picks and chooses different things that whatever stage she is in her life. So I think that's what I find so fascinating about her too, is that she kind of flows. She flows with different things, and her different albums do have very different feels. Like her current one, which is her tour that I'm going to go see, which is The Middle of Nowhere.
That's in August, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very country. This one is much more, they're saying she's
What's
back
it
to her
called?
Middle of Nowhere.
Middle of Nowhere. Right.
And it's very, she's going back to sort of her more traditional country roots. But Golden Hour was really just I don't even know how to describe that. It was country, but it had more sort of maybe some more folk elements to it, some more Americana. But Rolling Stone has described her as country music's most daring traditionalist, a small town realist who's also a campy country disco queen and a folkie who once wrote a song about smoking weed with John Prine. Rolling Stone also said that she is surely the only artist, country or otherwise, who's making records eclectic enough to crib ancient Scottish folk melodies on one song and interpolate a hook from rapper J.I.D. on the next. So I just find that really fascinating that she can do so many things, but her lyrics are the real hook.
So something that I was thinking about with her, I was also trying to make, I don't know if I was trying to, but I was making this parallel between her and Beyonce and where they're at in kind of like the cycle of artists and the genre that they're put into. And one of the things that I've read about Beyonce was one of the reasons why, and this is not a diss about Beyonce, but one of the reasons why she was so successful was that there weren't a lot of or any big divas in that period where she was coming up. So part of it was that she had super talent and she was obviously an incredible artist, but she didn't have a huge amount of competition. Now, I don't know if that's true or not true, but that's just something I read. And something about Kacey Musgraves, the parallel there with Kacey Musgraves, I see is the kind of Shania Twain side of it. Shania Twain kind of like, she seems like a Shania Twain 2.0 in a way.
Interesting.
You know, she's murky in her genre. Shania Twain came up in country and then crossed over and had the little bit of rock pop, you know, sexy, cheeky, button pushing kind of lyrics at the time. And I don't know what's happening in country music right now, but I don't know if there's a lot of competition there for Kacey Musgraves in that genre right now.
Yeah, I don't know that there's anyone quite like her in country music.
What do you mean by that? Like her in what way?
Like, I think part of what attracts me to her lyrics is that she talks a lot about being from a small town and what that meant for her and how she had to leave that small town to experience the big world and learn about the world. But she says, doesn't matter where I'm going, I'll always call my hometown home. But she also just talks about the big questions of life. She has a song called The Architect.
It's got a lot of good reviews.
Yeah, and it's such a beautiful song about wanting to like understand the creator or like how this incredible world developed. It says, even something as small as an apple, it's simple and somehow complex, sweet and divine, the perfect design. Can I speak to the architect? So she talks about all these aspects of nature and beauty of the natural world and like wanting to understand like, how did you design this place that we live in? I think that the things she discusses, from the little things about, she has a great song called Dry Spell on her current album, which is
Have you seen
hilarious.
the video?
I haven't seen the video.
It's very funny. I think you will like it.
But her dry spell is a sexual dry spell.
Yeah.
And she talks about being, lonely with a capital H. If you know what I mean, I've been sitting on the washing machine. Like, she's so cheeky. And she gets away with saying the kinds of things like that. I don't know that a lot of other country female artists would really talk about masturbation. Maybe.
No. Yeah. Okay.
You know?
So, okay. Well, this goes back to my question, though, that I have for you about what is it about her that you are connecting so much with?
Well, I think it's that. I think I'm at a place in my life where I'm like exploring, like I'm so interested in just life, like people, like what makes people tick and what like looking at the world around me. Sometimes I look at a tree that's entwined with another tree, and I'm like, how did these two trees just grow and decide to, like the idea of them growing intertwined, like supporting one another, holding one another up, like these kinds of thoughts are the things I see when I take the dogs out in the woods every day. I'm like mesmerized by all the different flowers that just grow wild. Like I just feel like I connect with the thoughts that she's having. And even though I'm not from a small town, the way she talks about being from a small town, I really admire. So
what do you mean?
So, okay, it's her insight into things and the way country music in general, like the way they turn words is very cool to me. So she has a song called Merry-Go-Round, was her first song from her album called Same Trailer, Different Park. And she talked about it. She said, I found myself being told that I really shouldn't write about certain things, weed, homosexuality. I was told that a debut female had to release something upbeat, but she fought for that first single, which is Merry-Go-Round. She says, I'm willing to go down in flames for this song that you are saying just isn't going to work. And I was met with this word-for-word response from a grown man who runs a company. Well, sometimes in this business, you have to do things you're not proud of. And I said, that's where you and me are very different. I was appalled. So I love that she stuck to her guns, even with her first single. She was like, no, I'm doing it my way, and I'm doing it with a song that I think represents me in my life. So the song goes, Mama's hooked on Mary Kay, brother's hooked on Mary Jane, daddy's hooked on Mary two doors down. Mary, Mary, quite contrary, we get bored so we get married, just like dust we settle in this town, on this broken merry-go-round. And I just thought that is so conceptually, like I see that life. I know people like that. You came from a small town. Like you went to the East Coast recently. I spent a lot of time there, and I know people who never wanted to leave that place.
Yeah.
They just enjoyed their own little, very like small world, you know? And this idea of this merry-go-round that you just can't get off, you just can't escape.
Yeah.
Just resonated with me, even though I didn't live that life.
Yeah.
I can understand it through her lyrics.
Yeah. Interesting.
Tell me more.
I find it interesting that you're focusing on the small town component of it.
Not just.
Okay.
That's one thing. Then her another song from that was Follow Your Arrow, which has become a gay anthem. And I thought back in 2013, she kind of reminds me in a way of the Dixie Chicks too, who were like unapologetic about their political and moral views. Remember when they got pushed aside from country music because they said something about George Bush? And so this song where she's very, it's very pro, you know, whatever, love who you love, she says. So her lyrics go, so make lots of noise. Hey, kiss lots of boys. Yep, kiss lots of girls if that's something you're into. When the straight and narrow gets a little too straight, roll up a joint or don't. Just follow your arrow wherever it points. I just thought, like, that again, it's like, do what you want to do in your life. Do what you love who you love. And she says later, say what you feel, love who you love, because you just get so many trips around the sun. So there are just so many ways that she talks about life that I'm just like, yeah, I believe in the things that she believes in. I feel like we share a lot of moral truths.
Yeah.
You haven't listened to a lot of her music, but I guess maybe you did a little bit?
Yeah.
And so what were your thoughts?
Well, I listened to some of her music. I read some articles and I watched some interviews with her. I got some information, like I watched this not documentary, but it was somebody that had kind of presented their, the history of her and where she started and that sort of thing. And I was thinking about this episode, and I was thinking about what you've said about her and that you're really into her. And I was trying to figure out what I was going to say or what I was thinking about it. What struck me in seeing these videos and listening to these interviews was that I could see why you connect with her. And it's her joie de vivre. It's her independent point of view or her self-directedness. The word rebel comes up in quite a few different articles or descriptions about her. My take on that was I think that's something that you appreciate and perhaps value in a female. And because I think that you see yourself that way as well. But the other part of it is I also see her as being this kind of overly Botoxed, super conventionally pretty, like there's a lot of intention in the way she physically presents. And there's a tension there between this strong female who's forging their own path, who's also can be seen as somebody who's, falling to the conventions of beauty and what a pretty girl should look like. And I think that you've certainly talked about that on the podcast where, you've got your own way of doing things and you're quite strong in your convictions in lots of ways, but there's also this struggle between expectations, these external expectations of what you should be as a woman or a woman at a certain point in your life or that sort of thing. So that was the connection I made.
That's really interesting because all the things you said that I like about her in terms of her being a rebel and being, her own, doing her own thing and having her own voice, true. But I guess I've never really thought of that being how I see myself.
Really?
Really. I mean, I don't.
Have you not listened to yourself on this podcast for the last 2 years?
Yeah, but I don't ever I don't ever think of myself as like, oh, I'm a rebel. I go against common convention. I don't view myself that way.
Well, I'm sorry. Sorry if that was unclear. The description that gets, or the label that gets put on her is a rebel.
Right.
But she's even said she doesn't see herself as a rebel.
Right.
She's just, this is what's important to her, or this is her presenting herself. If people want to put it in the rebel box, that's their description of her.
Yes. Okay.
So that's what I mean. But I mean, I guess in a way saying I'm trying to put you in that box unintentionally. I don't think of you as a rebel per se, but I think of you as someone who, in certain circumstances, you reject these conventional sort of female expectations or tropes.
Right. I think you're right about that. Like I do for 95% of my being.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then, as you commented on her Botox or whatever, which I had never realized, like I'd never really looked at photos of her over the years.
Have you watched her perform?
When I look at her from before to now, it's like, yes, okay, clearly her lips look fuller.
Have you watched any clips of her accepting an award at an award show?
No.
You should.
Well, okay,
because
I will.
Her facial expression, she's shocked and in awe, but you could not tell from looking at her face because there's no movement other than her mouth.
Okay, I'm going to.
And I feel petty pointing that out because I think it's for me it was a total distraction. I was like, okay, her face is frozen and I cannot I don't get any expression from her, and I don't know.
Well, okay, so the 95% for me is like, I do kind of rebel against what the expectations of women are in modern society. And even, even such a minor thing as you making a comment about a guy making me happy. It's like, no.
Yeah.
No, the
exactly.
guy, no.
Yeah.
I I made myself happy. I created my life in a way to make myself happy.
Yeah.
And the fact that this person is a new addition to my life is another part of happiness, but it's not, my happiness comes from within.
Yes. Yeah.
And it took me a long time to create that life and to create that sense of self too. And so I think that is, of course, I identify with the things she speaks of in her lyrics because she talks about things like that too. And as you say, she is kind of she bucks convention in the kinds of things she talks about and says. But the 5% is that I am still very conscious of my physical appearance. You know, I'm not gonna, maybe if I had millions of dollars, maybe I would undergo certain treatments or procedures. I don't like the idea of like a facelift, like the idea of that physically, what's happening. But I do non-invasive things. Like I get facials. I've had microdermabrasion. Don't be a perv, Mike.
No, I didn't say anything.
But your eyebrows said something. You know, and I use products now. I've had a skincare routine for the first time in my life. So I am conscious of my appearance, although I am not so conscious that I'm going to get filler all over my face and do everything. But of course, like I want to feel like I look good. For myself, but not for anybody else. So I don't know. It's a tough thing being a woman. I'm sure men have their own issues with that too, but I do really appreciate just her willingness to try different sounds and to do, and not to fall into, okay, this is where they see me, so I'm going to just stay in this comfortable lane. No, she wants to grow and, grow her art and her craft and her writing. And I think that's really commendable. And also, yeah, you're right. Like the things that she writes about, I think I am identifying with them in where I'm at in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, she has this beautiful song called Deeper Well. And she says, that's the one where she talks about, when I was growing up, we had what we needed, shoes on our feet, but the world was as flat as a plate. And that's okay. The things I was taught only took me so far, had to figure the rest out myself. And then I found a deeper well. Like that to me, it's like, that's growth. And I find it so beautiful. I find lyrics and poetry now that I'm in a certain stage of my life, I guess, so captivating. So I don't know. There's so many things, even 2 lines in the song she has called Anime Eyes. When I look at you, I'm always looking through anime eyes. A million little stars bursting into hearts in my anime eyes. Do you know what anime eyes are?
No.
So anime is a type of Japanese animation.
Yeah.
And they have massive eyes. And whenever characters are in love, there's like stars and like hearts.
Oh, okay.
So it's so like, she says that and it's like immediately you can picture, and just that feeling of being so enthralled by someone. I have gone on and on and on about her.
That's what this episode's about.
Yes.
Now, you're going to see her in August. And you said in a couple of episodes ago, you were curious as to what the concert was going to be like.
I'm still very curious. And I've kind of intentionally not looked at much of her concert footage because I kind of want to just let it be a surprise. So I haven't really looked into it much. But I am curious because when you see, for example, Justin Bieber's performance at Coachella, minimal. So minimal. And I'm like, what is her performance going to be like? Is there going to be lots of like fireworks and is there going to be a bull on stage like there was on the cover of her album? Like she's going to have a washing machine she's going to hop onto for a dry spell? Like what's going to happen?
Okay, I think what you should do is recap.
That'd be so long ago. People will forget all about this episode by then.
We can link back to it.
We can say from the vault, folks.
Yeah, and then I think it'll be really interesting to see if seeing her in person will also cement some of these things that you're feeling or that you connect with.
Yeah.
Through listening to her via the radio or whatever.
Yeah, that will be interesting. I'm going to have you listen to a couple of songs after we get off this, because there's one song that she has called Sway, where looking at some of the comments on Instagram, people said, if I could inject the last 30 seconds of that song into my veins.
Oh.
It's like a hymn.
Okay.
But again, in the cheesiest way, it's like you're connecting with the universe in this kind of other plane of existence, just the musicality of it and her voice. It's like a come to Jesus moment, so to speak. So I'm going to play that song for you now. And I think I would love for our little listeners to listen to some of the songs that I've mentioned, specifically Sway and Deeper Well are two of her beautiful ones, and then Merry Go Round, her very first single, same trailer, different park.
Okay. And what can they do after they listen to them, Priya?
Well, they can slide into our DMs. There's been a lot of sliding into things happening lately, but slide into our DMs, folks, at The Little Podcast. That's LIITL. Or you can send us an email at lifeisinlyrics@gmail.com.
That's right. All right, little listeners, thanks for listening, and see you next Wednesday.
Bye.